Watch out! They've got backup! We are not leaving without the supplies! Open the door and we'll let you walk! Almost in! Just you wait!
So I just got done playing the new Miles Morales game on my PlayStation 5. Yeah, I got a PlayStation 5. I was one of the few that got it through the special Sony promotional, like, early pre-order thing. So I get to lord that over you guys. Anyway, the first game I played was Miles Morales, and I really enjoyed it. It looks wonderful. There were a lot of early reports of it causing bricks to the system, which I had a concern about, but I didn't really have that problem. The only problem I had was really late in the game when I was doing the hideouts. When I started fighting everybody all at once, and there's just a lot of stuff going on screen. I was playing in fidelity mode, which gives it 30 frames per second, but gives you the ray tracing and the high graphics options. For some reason, that just kept freezing my game. So I went ahead and put into performance mode, which lowers the graphics settings so I could get 60 frames until I finished all the hideouts. And then I switched it back, and that seemed to have solved the problem. Other than that, I didn't really experience any glitching. I didn't get the random models being changed out for dumpsters and stuff that you're seeing. My system didn't get bricked. What else? I never like glitched through a wall and caused some random like model mess ups. It played wonderfully for me. But yeah, I mean, this game looks amazing. It plays amazingly. I'd actually rate it higher than the PS4 game, simply because there's a way of fighting, and when you're fighting a lot of enemies at once, the big, muscly bound guys can be a real headache, because the way they fight, their animation is that they're winding up an attack to like hit you with the full force of their body, but the actual the way it was programmed is that it homes in on you, and no matter how much you roll or whatever, if you didn't hit that specific timing window, then the guy will literally slide across the entire rooftop or building or whatever you're fighting him on and hit you no matter what. Miles Morales actually has venom powers, which, like, no matter what, you can knock that guy on his ass. So that was a lot of fun. That was one of my major issues with the Spider-Man game, was how annoying those enemies were, and Miles Morales fixed it with his powers. So there's that. There's the quick getaway of being able to turn invisible and just zip away, and the enemies instantly lose you. That was pretty great. So all in all, the mechanics are really sound, and it was a blast to play through. Set during New York at Christmas time, and there's a snow blizzard going through. Oh, it looks so beautiful. It's not as heavy as the snow as like Red Dead Redemption 2 or like Last of Us Part 2 or anything, but it still looks quite amazing on fidelity mode. Swinging through New York during a blizzard is just so gorgeous. A lot of the suits, I didn't really enjoy a lot of the suit designs. There were, I don't know, I feel like there were just too many of the the trainee newbie style suits and not enough like actual unique looking suits. As you can see in the footage, one of my favorites is the Spider-Man 20, 21, 33, whatever. the like futuristic Spider-Man ones with the Daft Punk helmet and the neon leggings. It looks so cool to me. I loved it. Another favorite one is the Black Lives Matter suit with the gold trimming. That one looked really awesome to me. There are a lot of things I see of other like online reports of like, oh, this is bare bones story. It's nothing new. It's like, yeah, it's nothing new. But at this point, with this much superhero media that has gone mainstream, and there's only so many ways you could do a story like this. And the fact is, we've seen Peter Parker's story how many times across how many iterations since his inception? Like, not just comics. Like, he's been in cartoons, he's been in movies, like games, everywhere. And we know what his origin story is. This is a new character going through a lot of the same events. In that sense, while it's not new plot elements, it's new approaches to the plot. May not be enough for a lot of people, but it was enough for me. I was fully engaged the whole way through. I loved it. Didn't matter, like, okay, old high school friend turns into the villain, and there's also an evil corporate guy, like in every other superhero story. Well, I didn't pick up Miles Morales for the new story, you know? Like, it knew it wasn't going to, like, break new ground in a plot. The Spider-Man PS4 didn't break new ground in the plot. All it did was rearrange story elements that we already knew and told it to us in a different way. Basically, like taking Lord of the Rings, and instead of Bilbo leaving Frodo the ring, Bilbo takes it to Rivendell, and then Frodo has to chase him down and take the ring instead, you know? The plot ends up being the same, it's just a different way of telling it. And that's not a bad thing, as long as you enjoy your time with it, you know? If you're not enjoying it, just don't play it. Simple as that. As far as an expansion story to a game, this was pretty spectacular. It gave you a lot of open world stuff to do, gave you a lot of unlockables, gave you a pretty meaty story. It was probably about 10 hours or so. I spent a lot of time doing the collectibles before I finished the story, so my time is pretty inflated at 30 hours. And only messing up near the end, that's pretty good. I should probably say that is during the launch patch, and they probably have fixed the problems I went through alongside a lot of the problems that everybody else went through. Other than that, I mean, if you enjoyed the original Spider-Man game, you would enjoy this one. I love the way that Sony and Marvel have kind of established a style for Miles Morales. Like, his first real iteration into mainstream was with the Into the Spider-Verse movie. And they gave him quite a different style from what we knew, you know. He looked and acted way differently than Peter Parker, and it was pretty great. And in this game, they kind of kept that style going forward. So it's like, if you liked what they did with Miles Morales in that movie, then this is more of that. So a fan of the movie would definitely love this game as well. And yeah, I think that's great that, like, first day out, you know, they have established the style that they want with him. It's like I said, we've seen the Peter Parker Spider-Man for so long. We know his beats. We know who he is. You know, he's the nerdy girl pining after the hot redhead and somehow gets her after he becomes more confident with his Spider-Man powers, you know. But he's always willing to, like, give up his personal life in order to save people. Like, that's all good and all. That's the basic hero story. But, I mean, we've seen it for going on, 60 years? It definitely needs a new, fresh beat to it. And I feel like this is a good a place as any to evolve. So, obviously, there's going to be a sequel. But what will that sequel entail? Will you be able to swap between the two? Like, be able to swap between Spider-Man and Miles Morales? there is an after credit scene here where they kind of showcase something of what the sequel might entail. And I don't know. You can't really say that it's going to be a Sinister Six-y thing when they've already did that with the first Spider-Man game. But they could throw a whole bunch more villains at you and all of them working together to the point where, like, I mean, Peter was already overwhelmed in the first game, but now he has backup, so now you got to get both of them overwhelmed or something, you know? I don't think that it's going to become like Arkham Knight where he only shows up for, like, small side mission-y things. Because, I mean, for one, Spider-Man is not Batman. Batman feels like it's his responsibility and he should be able to take care of everything alone, and everybody else has their own duties, whereas Gotham City is Batman's. Now Spider-Man, he welcomes the help. He loves help. He loves having friends. So he would definitely like call up Miles and be like, "Hey, yo, help me take down the Rhino." Be really cool if you did show up and punch him with that electric stuff you got there in your hands. I quite liked it. I want to share my views of it. It's fantastic, specifically on the PlayStation 5, which I got. I'm going to try to do some more of these quick reviews in the future. I really love doing the edited stuff like I did with the Last of Us games, but they are so daunting. And when there's so many games that I love playing, it's really hard to set one aside and be like, no, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna edit this thing in time for whatever holiday or whatever I'm trying to do. So, yeah, I'll just probably do a lot more of these the quick edits. If you enjoy it, please like and subscribe. I'll put a link to my Twitch channel. I try to play a bunch of games on Twitch. Right now, I'm trying to finish up the last trophy for Avengers and probably go into Godfall. For now, I can't give you a set schedule. I mostly do it on the weekends. Catch y'all on the next episode.
I can see the headlines. Spider-Man, present protector.